What's going on, everybody? It's David Palmer, Leo King, and this is my show, Uncut Astrology, where I take off the mask and go deep behind the veil and give you this week's astrological forecast for the week of October the 12th through the 19th of 2016. And wow, we are here. We are getting ready for some intense aspects this week. And of course, it's been nothing but intense aspects as we go through astrology, but this one is going to be from a different flavor. Before we get into that, if you share this video, I send snail mail one winner a week. For anybody that shares on my Facebook this video, I pick and I write their reading on the back. So please share this video and you get the opportunity to get a free reading. Also, check out my awesome app and computer version of the app where you can watch my daily horoscopes and everything. And by the way, this horoscope is moving to the app only in the next couple weeks. So make sure that you join it, theleokingapp.com. You can get access to the computer, Apple, or Android in that way. Also, my movie Age of Deception has been doing awesome. Please, you can download that or stream it at ageofdeceptionmovie.com, or you can also get it at my YouTube and rent or watch there. Now, this week, there are some volatile things to talk about, but I want to bring the positive to all this. Number one, you got to remember the sun is still in Libra. We've got Jupiter in Libra. We've got Mercury in Libra. And this is a very peaceful, beautiful aspect in our life. But on the other hand, we're going to have this week Mercury square Mars and square Pluto. So mentally speaking, conversation-wise, thought-wise, we're about to face the two of the malefic planets. And a lot of this is going to be where we might have to face some harsh conversations. Maybe we want life to be a certain way. Maybe we're going to push for something without thinking it all the way through. This is Mars starting to approach Pluto, which is very volatile. It is very, it's kind of the foaming of the mouth of the dog, I'll be honest with you, especially in Capricorn. There's a goal, there's a point in life that you want to reach, and it's like, how do I get there? But there's all this energy in Libra, which wants to bring peace and wants to bring tranquility and wants to bring a way for everybody to win. And it's hard to have everybody win, but there are ways for us to not be greedy. There are ways for us to make sure and realize that things take time. It takes time to weigh things out. It takes time to get to certain places. And we might feel like we have to do something this week when really, gosh, do you realize how much time there really is in the world? Do you realize how much there is? The number one thing about this week is take it easy on yourself. When you have a full moon this weekend coming in Aries, which is all about I want it now, as Mars is approaching Pluto, as Mercury is squaring Mercury squaring Pluto and Mars. That's a combination of this week of we need this to go this way, I need life to be my own way, and if it's not this way, I'm not happy. Compromise, learning how to chill out a little bit, learning that things will take, a little bit of time. It's like this week we could really try and overextend our wants, our needs, our ego desires, and not look at the beauty that's right in front of us. I think that's the main message of this weekly horoscope. I mean, I can cover every aspect as deeply as you want. I mean, this full moon is a gnarly big one. It's happening in Aries, a fire sign. It's opposing, the sun and Uranus on the same day. I mean, this thing is happening exactly with the opposition of Uranus. And we're all going to be given a big lesson this week. Trying a different way out. Going into realizing that maybe the way we use our wants and our needs need to find a way to chill out. This is where also unpredictability comes really high. So you're expecting things to go one way and it's definitely not going to go that way. So as you approach this week, remember, Mercury squares Mars right away and then it's going to square Pluto. You might have this life and world and system that you think is going to be this way. It's like, this is how it's going to go. This is how I want it to go, and it's going to go this way. Universe is offering totally different options, totally different ways, and it's all going to turn out way different than you think it's going to go this week. That's going to be the whole laughter part of the week is the universe really kind of turning everything into a different direction. And realizing that maybe you're looking at things very narrow-mindedly. Mercury square Mars, Mercury square Pluto is looking too narrow-minded, not looking wide enough, and this is Saturn in Sagittarius. This is a time for us to look at more options, look at things in different ways. On top of that, Venus is going to enter Sagittarius by the end of this week, and guess what that means? That means that we really start to look at more positive and open things, and that's going to come after the full moon. That's going to come after Mercury square Mars and Pluto. That's going to come after all these kind of crazy transits. So to be quite honest with you, can you make it through till Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? Because that's going to be when I think, especially when the moon comes into Taurus and Venus is going to come into Sagittarius, there'll be some much more positive energy coming, and I think the settling down from kind of a humbling effect that we're all going to experience in ourselves this week. We're all going to be humbled. We're all thinking that the world's going to go one way when it's going to go a different way, in a better way than we could have thought of. That's what this is about. That, sure, Mars approaching Pluto, we'll get to the bottom of deep things that we want, but with this Uranus aspect, with this full moon in Aries, with this Libra transit, with all that's going on right now, covering everything, and especially the Mars is trining the North Node this week, I think that we're having to do things in a very cleanup style way and realize that the universe is trying to do things from a wholesome place, from a pure space, and not getting stuck in kind of our own subconscious junk. And I think that this is subconscious junk mixed in with our egos, subconscious junk mixed in with our desires, like cleaning those out and realizing that the things we want in life might be much more beautiful if we were to accept the beauty that's in front of us. That if we were to accept and realize there is so much beauty surrounding us that it's not when we reach a certain destination or we reach a certain point that it's going to become beautiful. It's about accepting that the beauty is happening right now, accepting that the beauty is happening during this week, and maybe our egos were wrong. Maybe we thought, and maybe we're going to be unexpectedly caught off guard, that what is really beautiful was what we weren't looking at, and what we thought was beautiful really wasn't. So that's going to be kind of the tricky part of this week. The volatile aspect that I really want to say is Mars approaching Pluto is not wanting to listen to that, being like, you know what, I think that this is going to be the only way and I don't care. I'm not going to look at the other side. I'm not going to weigh out other options. I'm not going to really take my time and process everything, because I think a lot of this energy with Libra and Capricorn is really learning to just take your time to sort through things. This is not a time where it's like, okay, I'm jumping onto this ship and this is where I'm going and that's it and this is done and we're here and we're there. It's like, no, we've got to weigh a lot out. This is a long court case. Whenever you deal with Libra, Mercury in Libra, Jupiter in Libra, and Mars, Pluto conjuncting and happening in Capricorn, we want to throw the hammer down and say guilty or non-guilty or right or wrong, but we can't yet. There's too much deliberation in our life going on, and especially because we are in the South Node and Neptune, and there's a lot of confusion, and Mars is trying to reach and go into the underworld. Mars is going to come into the underworld this week and really start to see and unveil these desires. With the Uranus full moon in opposition to the sun, we're about to see things way differently than we thought, reveal deeper parts of ourselves that maybe aren't as polite or as beautiful or as diplomatic as we might have once thought that it was. So this court case has a lot to observe. This is our life right now. It's kind of a court case, and we want the decision to be made, but there's a lot of deliberation. There's other people involved, and this week I think is not going to be the week that we figure it all out completely as far as a decision, because I think that's going to be right next week. We start on Wednesday when Mars conjuncts Pluto, ironically right when the election or the next debate is going to be Mars-Pluto conjunction, and we move into a totally different cycle. But I truly believe that this week we get presented with all the evidence and evidence that we weren't ready for. And there's going to be a lot of unpredictable things that come out this week, a lot of reflection and change of our individual self how we identify with ourselves, who we think we are, what we think about others. And so this is going to be a week where we really see the deeper parts of ourselves and the outer part of ourselves that come from other places. You know, this is like your guides or your aliens talking to you in different ways. This is receiving information that you just that you haven't been able to tune to frequency-wise yet, that maybe, you know, if you don't listen to this new frequency, then you're never going to be able to really hone in on really what to do next. Because I think a lot of people might be a little confused to make the last aspects or last decisions in where they're at in their life. I think that people have gotten closer and closer to finally kind of getting closer and narrowing down where they're going, but there's still some tail end minor things that are floating around. Those are the things that are going to be head first face this week, and a lot of it's going to come from way left field and out of normal. Other than that, I think it's going to be a really positive week coming into the beginning, Monday, Tuesday. Man, that is looking real nice. Even Sunday, but I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I mean, these are intense. I don't want to call them volatile, but kind of intense, like you wanting it one way and maybe not being happy and maybe being grumpy and not looking at the beauty that's in front of you. And if you can focus on the beauty in front of you through these days, and if you could realize that there's going to be information from a higher frequency and a higher source, and that you need to get to the bottom of some deeper issues, because even though you think you know, Mars hasn't fully made it to the bottom of the underworld to see yet. And that's what's going to happen this week. You're going to get to the bottom of it all. It's going to be a slow process, but by the end of this week, we're only talking within this next week process, you're going to get real clear results, real clear visions, much more powerful, especially as Saturn is broken away now 4 degrees from Neptune. We are coming out of the Saturn-Neptune foggy square of where to go. And by next week, you're going to really start to feel very clear in the vision of where you're going in your life. Mercury's going full speed ahead. Mercury's going to come off of these crazy squares, and we're going to be real clear, real precise with all this stuff. And we'll be getting ready to head into Scorpio season next week with a much more clear, ready to go, ready to commit energy. We're not there yet. Remember that when I give you this, and enjoy the beauty of just whatever is in your life this week. And I appreciate that. Thanks so much for all the support. Make sure that you get the app. The LeoKingApp.com is where you can get the computer, Android, or Apple version of all the daily videos and the notifications and so forth. Please get my movie, ageofdeceptionmovie.com. And I appreciate it so much. Make sure that you join me on Facebook, like the Leo King page, or like my David Lawrence Palmer. I do my live Facebook videos on there all the time. We talk about astrology, we talk about the Cubs and the curse, we just talk about everything, the politics, everything. Make sure you join that so you get alerted when, or just join the app when I alert you that I'm going live on Facebook. Thanks so much for all the support. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you on the next Uncut.